From name-calling to backstabbing to straight-up political sabotage, some U.S. presidents hated each other so much that their beef literally shaped American history. If you think dirty politics started recently, think again. Even the Founding Fathers went from freedom-fighting bros to sworn enemies overnight. John Adams and Thomas Jefferson were once the dream team, co-authors of the Declaration of Independence and best buds in Europe. But in 1796, they both ran for president. Adams won, Jefferson came second, and under the old rules that made Jefferson his vice president. Imagine your biggest rival as your number two. Awkward. By 1800, the gloves came off. Jefferson's camp called Adams a hideous hermaphroditical character, while Adams's side painted Jefferson as a low-lived scoundrel. Jefferson won, and Adams was so salty he skipped the inauguration entirely. Their friendship was shattered for years, until late in life, when they reconciled by letter and even died on the same day. July 4th, 1826. Fast forward to 1824. Andrew Jackson won both the popular and electoral vote, but not a majority. The decision went to the House, where Speaker Henry Clay threw support to John Quincy Adams. Adams won, gave Clay the Secretary of State job, and Jackson's supporters screamed corrupt bargain. In 1828, round two was pure mudslinging. Adams's side called Jackson a thug. Jackson's team accused Adams of pimping out women to Russians. Jackson crushed Adams, who refused to attend the inauguration. But the campaign was brutal. Jackson's wife Rachel died soon after, and he blamed the attacks for her death. Their feud split the old party system and helped create the modern Democrats and Republicans. After Lincoln's assassination, VP Andrew Johnson became president. He wanted to go easy on ex-Confederates, while General Grant and Congress wanted tougher Reconstruction. Johnson tried to use Grant to push out Secretary of War Edmund Stanton, but Grant refused. Johnson blasted him publicly, and Grant calmly fired back. By Grant's inauguration in 1869, the two men hated each other so much Johnson skipped the ceremony altogether. But this wasn't just personal, it was about the future of Reconstruction. Grant's victory meant federal troops crushed the KKK and enforced civil rights for freedmen. Decades later, Theodore Roosevelt handpicked William Howard Taft as his successor, but once in office Taft drifted conservative, fired Roosevelt's allies, and reversed reforms. Teddy felt betrayed. By 1912, he came out of retirement, roasted Taft as brainless, and even ditched the GOP to start his own Bull Moose party. The result? Roosevelt split the Republican vote. Taft was humiliated, and Democrat Woodrow Wilson swept in. From best friends to bitter rivals, this feud reshaped American politics forever. During the Great Depression, outgoing President Herbert Hoover and incoming President Franklin D. Roosevelt despised each other. Hoover begged FDR to support emergency measures, but FDR refused, not wanting to be tied to Hoover's failures. Hoover called it the coldest political act ever. On Inauguration Day 1933, they rode together in icy silence. Some historians say their refusal to cooperate may have worsened the banking panic. Harry Truman admired Dwight Eisenhower during World War II, but during the 1952 campaign, Eisenhower failed to defend General George Marshall from McCarthy's smear attacks. Truman saw it as cowardice, blasted Eisenhower as unprincipled, and the two men's relationship collapsed. By Inauguration Day, Eisenhower even refused Truman's offer for coffee. Truman later wrote that Ike knew less about politics than a pig knows about Sunday. Their feud made a tense transition during the Korean War. Truman's hatred for Richard Nixon was even more savage. He called him a no-good lying bastard who could lie out of both sides of his mouth at once. Even decades out of office, Truman never let up, and when Watergate finally destroyed Nixon, Truman felt vindicated. When John F. Kennedy chose Lyndon B. Johnson as VP in 1960, it was strategy, not friendship. Johnson hated how the Kennedys treated him like a country bumpkin, once calling Bobby Kennedy a